y'all. So I just got done watching Peacemaker season 2 finale for the second time. This episode was so good, I had to run it back after I watched it the first time. And after watching it the second time, I only have stronger feelings for how I felt about it the first time I watched. This finale episode was magnificent. This shit made me feel so many different emotions. It was so much comedy in it. So much expansion on this new DCU that James Gunn has been producing for, which all culminates in that ending, which, oh brother, it's fuck Argus and fuck Rick Flag scene forever, like forever. I gotta preface this now, if you have not seen that season 2 finale yet, go watch that before you watch this video, because I'm gonna be spoiled. And to my Peacemaker fans out there, whether we get a season 3 or not, best believe you will be getting more Peacemaker content out of me. I was late to the Peacemaker party, but now that I'm here, oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So with that said, before I get to yapping about this great show in Peacemaker, y'all already know what y'all gotta do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things right now. And let's talk about this finale. So boom, we start off the episode with Peacemaker and Harcourt at this restaurant called the Big Belly Burger, if I'm not mistaken. The way the episode started, you instantly knew we were gonna get more insight on the boat that Peacemaker has been talking about this whole season. Constantly asking Harcourt, well, what did the boat mean to you? What about what happened on the boat? We finally get to see what happened on that boat in this episode, but before we do, we starting off at the Big Belly Burger, where they just having casual conversation, and we see in this conversation that Harcourt is allowing herself to lower her defenses that we see her constantly have up in any given situation, and just vibe with Chris while drawing his box face with the straw. The song Something Special comes on, and Chris gets to serenading Harcourt in front of all these people, but not before giving her a history lesson on the song, which calls it back to Peacemaker's love of rock and the rock that we've seen integrated in so many episodes from season 1 and this season. Love the callback because it just shows how much James Gunn actually understands these characters in the DC universe, but more than anything, how he's keeping them accurate to the story he's trying to tell in Peacemaker. Harcourt gets embarrassed by this because obviously everybody's looking at them. Peacemaker then asks her, when are you going to accept the fact that you are something special? She says, I'm no one special, I just want my job back. Leota fucked that up for me. Peacemaker says, I do think you special, like for real, I really do. Server goes ahead and brings shots to the table. I did not expect them to get shots in this burger spot, but okay. You just see them having a good time before they leave the restaurant, and then this dude starts to try to hit on Harcourt, so she gets back in defense mode, but Chris jumps in to stop Harcourt for beating the lights out of this man. Harcourt thinks he's trying to protect her, but he clarifies, no, I was trying to keep you from putting belt to ass on that man. And is successfully able to calm her down. My boy even called that a miracle in itself. After this, they get to walking on a pier, talking about how Peacemaker be treating Adrian, how he needs to appreciate his idolization of bro more before they get to the boat, where we see there's about to be a live performance. Okay, so you already know Peacemaker trying to get her up on that boat. She not trying to go, but in her own words, they've been having a great night already, so they about to get on that in a little bit. Come back to present day, and we see that Peacemaker has some visitors. The remainder of the 11th Street kids come to try to visit him. He's not going. He calls himself the Angel of Death before telling the cop to tell him to beat it. Now, obviously, he's dragging it, calling himself the Angel of Death, but realistically speaking, is he crazy for thinking this? I mean, this whole season was just him trying to start a new life for himself after accidentally killing his own self, and he wasn't even able to do that. On top of that, he got his dad killed and almost got his other brother killed. He literally did that same thing in this universe by taking out his dad and his brother by accident. After this, we transition to Argus, who now, with the technology that Peacemaker gave him in the last episode, are able to access all those Monsters Inc. door dimensions. So they're sending out teams to investigate, to see if they could find a world that's inhabitable. As of right now, that's all they know. We got characters like Langston, Flurry, Harcourt, Judo Master, and more investigating these dimensions, and a lot of these doors are locked from what we see. They get to one that's unlocked, they open the door, looking like they're about to walk into a lollipop Candy Crush level. So they investigate. Now, me personally, I'm not mad at them investigating what's going on behind this door, but they walked a little too far inside the door. Like, y'all can see all that's going on if you just open the door and, you know, look on both sides to see what's going on in front and behind you. I'm pretty sure Argus got the money to have cameras somewhere on what y'all are wearing. They can see what y'all are seeing too. So why I felt the need to walk about 20 to 30 yards away from the door, that's beyond me. They slowly learn what they're dealing with though, being jumped by these imps that took 12 seconds to show themselves. But they knew before I counted to 12, they had all the time in the world to run back to the door to get an idea of exactly what they were dealing with. They decided they needed a close-up, which resulted in the death of one of the people they went into the door with. That person, being someone Flurry, was literally just frying like 10 minutes before. Them imps went a lot crazier than I thought they was. They broke into man's mask and started eating his face. And when members of the group leave to report what happened, everybody that's on the outside is just looking around like, damn, that's crazy. At that point, just take my pension. I'm good. I'm done off of this government. See, Economos starts to question exactly what Argus is even having them do right now. Sasha does the same things later on in the episode, but Harcourt right now, she's just along for the ride. You know, this whole season, she's been trying to get back to work for some kind of government since the events that ended season 1. Now she's just like all this is dangerous, but I mean, what can we do? Also learning a lot of people that Flag is now working with came from the Superman movie who were working with Lex Luthor to take down Superman. So that's a great callback to that movie. Lex Luthor is very much still involved in this series because we see him passing notes along to Flag, being that he has his own pocket dimension, and I guess giving him some advice on what you can expect to see in some of these different dimensions. We cut back to Adrian, whose mom tells him that Leota came to visit him, and Leota's basically trying to convince him to use the blood money that he has to get Peacemaker up out of jail. Bro's trying to do a prison break, so Leota has to tap into her inner Amanda Waller to get him to use the money to free Peacemaker, so they're able to bail him out. Once they do, he goes home to see John there, and he's only there to pick up Eagly, so he goes in the house, picks up Eagly, and then leaves, which gets the rest of the 11th Street kids tight. Like, damn, you could have held him for 2 seconds? After this, we get this montage of Harcourt, Flurry, Judo Master, etc. going into these different dimensions, barely escaping with their lives, mind you, while Peacemaker and Eagly are making their way into this new motel that they done moved into. Now, eventually, while dimension hopping and losing multiple bodies along the way, they're able to find this one dimension that looks pretty habitable, if you ask me. One that has a lot of resources, as stated in this council meeting, that Flag holds with a lot of big players. Like the same room where Lex had that one meeting in the Superman movie too, so another good callback. On this meeting, Flag is asked where they're going to build a prison at, and he says that this planet that they're calling Salvation will be the prison. This is where we go send the metahumans, so we have one less thing to worry about on this planet. Dude responds, it's bare resources on this planet. I don't know why you think this is a punishment. And Flag is like, I don't care about no punishment. I just want these people off my planet. Sounding a lot like Lex Luthor there, Flag. Bro had to remind him, you were slandering his name a couple of days ago, now you sounding like his son. But ultimately, this is the decision that's made with Planet Salvation. They don't have the rights to just throw metahumans out there just yet. But when they do, it's up for them boys. I forget to mention they were celebrating the discovery of these new dimensions while people were actively losing their lives in the office, where people are losing their lives. Sasha Bordeaux's not with any of this, so she decides to link up with Harcourt at the same restaurant Peacemaker and her were at the beginning of the episode. It's here where Sasha exposes Flag's actual intentions. Now, Harcourt at first is just like, what are we gonna do? After seeing how adamant Sasha is about leaving the government, she decides, look, I got a friend, I want you to talk to her, go over some ideas. I love this conversation because it goes back to the conversation she had with John earlier on in the episode, where John asked her, when has anything we've ever done been for the people? Me, and not only shows continue to grow from Harcourt's character, but the fact that Sasha and John were having this conversation with her in the same episode, to me shows that they go ship later on, if they do have a season 3 or in the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie. I'm calling it now. See, after this, Leota swings by Harcourt's house where they get to going over ideas. While Leota and Sasha continue to talk, we go back to the past. See Harcourt and Peacemaker on the boat where they're vibing to this rock band. And the song they playing while Peacemaker and Harcourt are just dancing, it brought tears to my eyes. I'm not even gonna lie. Not only does it align with what happened later on this season with Harcourt and 11th Street kids literally going to another dimension to save Chris, it also speaks to what Harcourt and Chris are about to experience now with the events that happen at the end of the episode. They share their first kiss, and it's a long one. But Harcourt eventually pushes back, saying she gotta go, before coming back to present day where she asks Sasha if she has Peacemaker clearance so she can get back to Peacemaker. Economo, Sasha, and Harcourt go over to Argus to find his location. Han's putting on this terrible distraction, and at the same time, Leota goes over to her girlfriend's house, where Leota is basically letting her go, telling her that she'll love her always, that they're just unfortunately on 2 separate paths right now that don't align. This was a great conversation that James Gunn definitely did not have to have in this episode, but did anyway. It highlights to me the care that he has for all of these characters in this cast. We then see the love these characters share for each other when the 11th Street kids finally run into Peacemaker, and they have a conversation with him where they basically tell him that he cannot hold on to the mistakes of his past, because one, a lot of those things were influenced by other people, and 2, Chris Smith at the end of the day is a great guy who has impacted and touched the lives of so many. Beyond that of just the 11th Street kids, we know that Peacemaker is a genuinely good person who's just been dealt an absolute shit hand. I love that it was Leota having this conversation with him, and I know all the 11th Street kids chimed in. It just highlighted their individual friendship even more. Tell them they got this big plan to go up against the government before leaving. Before they all leave, Peacemaker asks Amelia one more time, did the boat mean anything to you? And she finally admits that it meant everything. And when I tell her, this shit brought tears to my eyes too. See how hype Peacemaker is in the next scene before we get into this next montage. Then putting Adrian's blood money together to build this business called Checkmate that Leota told her girlfriend about earlier on in the episode. The motto, making the world better. We see the 11th Street kids, Sasha, Judo Master, and Flurry come together to make this company where they can actively be the good people they want to be, do what they want to do. I have to listen to the government who is always on shiesty time. See Peacemaker and Harcourt go back to the boat where they're playing the intro to this season. Harcourt is actively serenading Peacemaker, showing that she has now adopted the same love for Rock that he had. All this happened on the back end of the episode was so wholesome that I just knew some fuck shit was coming. And then it did. Rick Flag has his goons kidnap Peacemaker right as he's about to go back in his crib, right after linking up with Harcourt, bringing him to Argus, throwing him into Salvation as the planet's first prisoner. They done forged this man's signature with him agreeing to be the planet's first guinea pig and everything. I was just watching the episode title like, Peacemaker, run. Why you just sitting there? You about to lose everything, brother. This episode was a 9.5 7.5 out of 10. James Gunn continues to cook for season 3, but now I'm looking forward to Man of Tomorrow even more.